Okay, so today we'll talk about making a living through gaming. In 2020, when I watched a video where people were being interviewed on how games like Axie Infinity has helped them in their livelihoods during the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of businesses were shut down, and there was no movement, and people were just seeking what could they do with their time. And Axie Infinity, though it was launched 2018, but the game actually helped them, helped people during that period. And it was that period, I think business models thrive with time. So even if you're doing the right thing, if you don't, there are certain times that favor such certain businesses, like Netflix, for example. They had their stock rise. A lot of people subscribed to Netflix. Why? Because people were stuck at home and they had no option. And then the same thing with the likes of Zoom and all that. So the same thing with Azure Infinity, and people made a lot of money from it. So, um, what can you say about the number of how many people do you think are playing games around the world?
The numbers increases rise from 2021, and up to now there are more gamers. Like looking at it now, a lot of people are going to gaming. Apart from being in blockchain, uh, we have YouTubers, people stream games online, and it becomes a way of livelihood. So it's not as business as before. It's not like you are wasting your time or you are not serious with your life anymore. I watch a gaming competition hosted by Premier League. So they are doing this esports. So each football club has a representative. We have Liverpool and the rest. I think the Liverpool guy won. I think they played one club. I think it's either Aston Villa or something like that. They played. So those guys are stars on their own, being a gamer. Are stars on their own, being a gamer. And I discovered this when I watched this movie, The Good Doctor. So I see, so people make a living, they become celebrity out of it. So there are a lot of people playing currently now. They are getting to the game industry. A lot, a lot, a lot. Even now, they have
Okay,
the ability to play games with their mobile phones and the rest. So it makes a lot of people to become gamers.
so now we can see the rise of the gaming revenue. I saw this chart from the internet and picked. You can see like from 1972 up to 2020. You can see it's just been rising and rising from different kind of games.
Yeah.
So gaming has been, I think gaming has it has gotten different terms. I think those days there's this stuff called the Arena of Colossus, where people come and they do wrestling, and the people come to watch them.
Yeah.
Even and then there were prizes that could be won. Probably people wrestled for things like maybe you wrestle either to marry the most beautiful lady in the village, or you wrestle
To
um,
get a farmland.
to get a farmland, or you wrestle to get an inheritance, or even some people wrestle to become a king. So gaming has always had this incentive. So it's nowadays gaming has, even without things like money. There are some games where you play these games in order to get things like airtime credits. Maybe if you want to call your family members abroad and all that. So gaming has been a critical part. And I saw this chart. I heard close to 3 billion people or even more are playing games. And according to statistics, it's like hundreds of thousands of people are being added every year to the number of people that are playing games. And I pulled up some charts. I tried to find some charts, but I didn't really see. So people playing the games, and then we talk about the different the VCs, platforms like Polygon, Studios, Trump Foundation, Amonica Brands, Ubisoft, even things like Electronic Arts, Solana Ventures coming into the gaming space. So our topic today is how can someone actually earn a living playing games? So, what is your own opinion on play to earn games?
Little end games is something that has been on for long.
Yeah,
So I I think when I was in secondary school, they have this gaming. They bet themselves. That involve betting. So they bet. They choose their country or club. Then they run automatic. The game just play within few seconds to get scores. So the top winner gets the money. So also in PlayStation also. I think PlayStation invented that onto Real Football, brought that to the uh, Java phone game industry. So that was then. So as time evolves, it's become a main sport of its own. They call it an e-sport, which people do participate in. They I did a course in Harvard, then I discovered that Harvard University they built an AI which competes with all the sports guys also to tell you how big the industry is going. So they build an AI that can compete with all these esports persons. And aside that, it has been a competition. There are games you play, you get points. So out of those points, you can redeem them and the rest also before getting to crypto, before getting to the crypto market. And these things have started for long in the crypto space anyway, but they didn't really fly that much based on timing.
pick up.
Yeah, they didn't call a pickup at all based on timing because at that time people don't really see it as a big thing. But I think there's always a blessing in every disappointment. Disappointment. So
Yeah,
as
I was
a
listening to. Sorry to cut you. This guy was his name. Cardano co-founder. He said those days where BTC was not that popular, so people will play games and then they will say, okay, first prize you get this amount, second prize you get this amount, and then maybe fourth or third prize you get certain amount of BTC. And from our stuff and like a whole lot of platforms that so this play to earn stuff has it doesn't really have its roots in crypto or blockchain, but I think crypto or blockchain actually popularized it. And one of the reasons could be um, for that was responsible for that is the likes of Axie Infinity. The token price actually shooting up. If you we pull up the ASS chart, we see how far the platform has been. So you can see the returns that this platform has given in less than 1 year. So you can even see. So that's why you see a lot of people uh, rushing into it and wanting to be part of it and all that. Now,
yeah,
okay, so there are various models. We have free versions of games like Fortnite that you can download and you can start playing. Then there are games also that you play, then you earn anything with them. So those are what we're actually focusing on in this presentation. So from when we look at the charts, we see that the average gamer on a platform like I'll plug a calculator now. On a platform like Axie Infinity earns something between let's say $400, and if you put that, that is like $4,800. That is a little bit above what you can get in the Philippines and other nations. And if you bring that to our nation, for example, if you are playing and you're aiming, this is Nigeria now. I think the dollar is five the last time I checked. Okay, it's in some places. But let's say 500, that's like 200,000, right? So you can see the context here that by doing something which our fathers and mothers says, oh, you're wasting your life, you're doing this and all that. You can see that you are getting ahead. Like you see the country, right? If you get a job and you're earning, let's say 100,000, you're considered a big boy, right?
Yeah.
So you can. So the question to you, like, can somebody really make a living using from play to earn? Because that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, definitely. It determines either you want to do this as a living or you still want to share your egg. One thing is simple. When it comes to online, are not still sure because we have been trained with this security of a thing. We are trained with this security of a thing. We want something secure, something that is not online, offline, that is constant, but not is constant. You can still be sacked for your job also. So,
Yeah.
so they might bring in a new manager. Office politics and the rest. You might not be the favorite, so might also be sacked also. So nothing is sure. Nothing is sure. So it's either you say, this is what I want to focus on. This is what I want to work on. And any $400 as a Nigerian monthly is something big. It's how much do they pay? Okay, it's 34,000 naira is even higher than NYC Alawi, and they take it with all pleasure.
Yeah.
So you just see a huge opportunity, and that's for average player. We're not talking of those who really dedicate huge time on it and say, this is what I want to do. So if an average player, someone who didn't really take it that much serious, can get $400, that means you can get up to $1,000, which is half a million
So
naira.
okay, a question is let's say for example I am a worker and I go to work maybe 8 to 5. How much time do I need to put in? Maybe on a weekly basis. So
One thing is about timing.
come out with something substantial.
One thing is about timing.
Maybe I'm just free, maybe Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, let me give you examples of a gamer I met on Facebook. I asked him about how come he was able to have time because the guy is, I think, is from Philippines also. Yeah, it's from Philippines. So he was streaming live on Facebook. So I asked him how much time he has because his father is married, they have children. So he goes to work. Then during the evening, that's supposed to spend to watch news, know what is happening and the rest. That is the time he put into gaming. That is the time he put into gaming. So you just have to dedicate like 2 hours you spend on your television. You can dedicate that time for gaming. And it's cool because the guys stream every day.
Yeah, I think many of these things are over. People talk about people. They people want to sow, they want to reap when they've not sown. They see the good life and they want to chill with the big boys and all that, but they don't know that certain things demand. If you want to get extra, then you have to put in the extra.
Yeah.
Okay, even for those, and that was yesterday, the last episode we talked about the likes of gaming gates. We talked about things like YG, how you can put your resources together. Okay, let's say for example you're a very busy person and you don't have that time to be playing games. You can put your resources, play with it, and they give you returns. So it is stuff where almost anyone has no excuse. Now, what are some of the risks you think can be there with playing? I think some of the risk I wrote here is that things like initial investment, maybe you could put your money and a game may not necessarily be profitable. Maybe it's a new game. The other thing again is market volatility. So you can that the price goes up and down, and maybe the value of what you earned was high yesterday and then today that's low, so you can't really plan on that. Then on that thing again is it's a speculative market and then things like hacks. You can be hacked, your wallet can be hacked and you can lose it. So what are, in your own opinion, what are some of the risk um,
The
when it
risk
comes
you
to
the risk you mentioned already are the major risk involved.
this
Yeah,
part?
and the major risk involved because like hacks now, all your NFT, whenever they hack your account, all your NFT are gone. You lose everything. You can't get it back. That is just one issue with it. And I think blockchain are currently facing hacks a lot these days. So that is one of the major issue. Another thing, the market, we are not dealing with stable coin. So the market might go up or down. So if it goes up, it's on your own benefit, but if it goes down, you are losing. So that is another risk again. And you don't know everyone that can play. Some has to invest their money so that you can get the gamers can have scholarship and play so that they share, everybody wins and go to their various places. So in such a case now, you might lose your money also because depend either you are making profit or not. So that's how it is. These are the risks.
So I think there are a number of ways um, one can actually come in this gaming economy because I was doing the study. You can decide to play the game. Okay, now if I want to play the game, I need to some of this stuff. Maybe some require you play free, or some require you to have some NFTs like maybe lands, items, in-game items, weapons, and the rest of them. And it's one way. So you can either come and invest in those in-game items and then play, or you loan them out as a scholarship program. That is one way to come in. Another way to come in is you can simply you we'll talk about how do you invest in gaming tokens, maybe in another video. You see a game that is gaining traction, you look at the metrics, you see the number of players, you see how people are earning money with it and all that. You can decide to place a bet, like what people did with Axie, and invest in gaming tokens. That is one. The number two thing that you can actually do, and like I was talking about investing in gaming tokens, things like DeFi Kingdoms. They just launched on Avalanche subnet. So meaning, rather than people just pay fees on an Avalanche, and the fees will be paid using these DeFi tokens and the token. Now, another way you can actually come in and invest is when you invest in the underlying blockchain. So there are many chains and um, how will I put it? There are many chains that are dedicated to gaming, for example. So and then this is one of the things I like doing. I don't like giving my we call it blue chips to let's say for example we have near protocol for example and lots of NFT activities are being done in the near protocol ecosystem. If you you can be trying to put your near into an NFT and the rest of the and the end of the day the chances of you making a buck with such bets are very slim. So, in my own opinion, sometimes if I look at the sky and I don't see something very worthy, I'll prefer to own my NFT, my tokens rather than just hold them. So those are still the way. So if you see a particular smart contract there, maybe Avalanche, near protocol, you see a lot of gaming being done in it, you can simply invest in it and you can still get all them. So there are a few games. I think Kanye put on an article there, 10 best NFT games to play in 2022. Ember Sword and Step N, where you move to N. Have you played Step N before?
Uh, I downloaded the app, but I've not really used it. I downloaded the app, I've not
Okay.
used it,
What
but
about Crabada?
no, it's that catty kitten or something like that that I tried today. Uh, whereby you bring two cats together and you breed
Okay.
them.
Well, Crypto Kitties.
Crypto kittens. So,
And that one is an old game. That one, I think it's one of the stuff that are pioneered
so
blockchain gaming stuff. And you have Illuvium. Though I think I'm somewhere involved with Crabada. I invested in it now. Uses in-game items, maybe pay weekly stuff. Illuvium, Aurora, Pegasi, Genopets, Delta Arena, FA Kingdoms, and Bomba. So at the end of the day, I think someone sent me a link and he said, and this is a game. And the game is a game, the market cap is very, very low. You can invest in it. I'm like, okay, what is the barriers to entry? How many people are playing the game now? And other metrics one want to actually consider before going in this route. So this is my humble take. One can make a living playing games. Yes, it can be directly or indirectly. If you don't have the time and you have the resource, maybe the money, why not buy the in-gaming items and put them in scholarship and be earning something? If you don't have the money and you're willing to make and grind it out, why not go the scholarship route? So we see that it is very, very possible. So you leave your comments below. Tell us the game you're playing and what are some of the challenges you have and what are the successes you've gotten so far. We'll see you in the next episode.